Okay. So, um, first thing you want to do is click on new. So you're going to go either file new, and you're going to go file new, or actually, I'll just quickly explain. So InDesign, you can create a document, which we are going to. You can create a book which has chapters in, or you can create a library with multiple books in there, right? So InDesign is meant to be used for documents with hundreds and hundreds of pages, and that's why we want to use it for our folio, because our folio is going to be 80 pages. It's quite big. So we're going to go new, and what we want to do is we want to actually have our document for printing. Okay, it's a big difference in the resolution if you choose web or one of the other options. Okay, so make sure you've got, and you're looking for A4. Okay, so you're looking for an A4 document printed. So that was, you had to hit show all options. Okay, and then you've got A4 there. Now also, you guys will see on the right side here, okay, once you pick a template like A4, it will fill all this in, okay? One of the most important things is, do you want it portrait or landscape? I'm going to do my document like a normal portrait document. Some students in the past have done landscape. It's completely up to you. I'm going to stick with portrait. You can change these later, okay? I'll show you where to change it later. Facing pages, I have that ticked, and I'm going to show you why. But for some people who like using Word, where all the documents are stacked on top of each other, like all the pages, you might want to take that off. But you can, again, you can change that later on. I'll show you where to change it later, okay? We can actually put in now, if we wanted to, 80 pages, but I'm not going to do that. We'll just start with one page for now, and we're going to hit the Create button, okay? So I'm going to hit Create, and right now, I've got my one page, okay, one page. If I wanted to change any of those settings, basically it's in File and then Document Setup, and I can change those settings you saw, like facing pages and things like that. Okay, over here on the right side, are all the panels, okay? Now, these panels can be changed using this workspace. Okay, so you might have different panels showing for you. Okay, and that's depending on the type of workspace you've clicked on. So if I go to digital publishing, my workspace on the right here changes. You can customize your own workspace. So if you use certain tabs, like for example, we're not going to do any animations because this is just going to be a PDF document. It's not going to be a Flash object, okay? So all of these panels that we don't need, we can get rid of, okay? And we can customize our own workspace that will have, fonts and paragraphing and styles and things we're going to use all the time. So if you wanted a new workspace, just to show you, basically you can click new workspace, you can give it a name, so I can call this custom one, hit OK. So I've got custom one then. If I want to delete it, I can create a new one. So once I've named it custom one, I can go to my window and actually tick or untick things I don't want in my workspace. So for example, I might want to see pages. That's pages there. I'll just pop that there. I probably don't want to see animation, so I could probably get rid of this this panel. I can close that. Timing, I can get rid of that. Media, get rid of that. So there's a few things we can do. We can customize a workspace, okay? So, and there's heaps of different workspaces that are already there. I personally haven't created my own workspace before. I just flick through. But if you were going to work on something like you guys are, working on this document over a period of a year, I would probably customize my own workspace once you know which tools you're going to use a lot. And one of the tools you're going to use a lot is pages and layers and things like that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is, first off, is change your workspace to essentials. And we're going to open up the pages panel. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to create a few more pages. So down below here, okay, right there, you can create a couple of pages by clicking that button. So let's create, say, 5 extra pages. So, or five pages in total. Let's go. Or 7. I'll do 7. 7 pages. Okay, so I've got 7 pages. And if I go over to my document here and just zoom out, you'll see there's all the pages. And what was meant by facing pages when we had that option at the start of the document was this, that we can see them side by side. And the good thing about that is, if you are designing your portfolio, you can design double pages and make them look good and make them compare them and contrast them with each other, so that when the HSC markers open up your folio to page 40 and 41 or 41 and 42, it actually looks good. Both of them look good. They seem equal maybe. Maybe you've got screenshots here and also screenshots there, and they line up perfectly. Like little details like that, it makes a big difference. If you didn't have that, so if I went to my document setup and I turned off facing pages, it's a bit easier to do your portfolio, but it's a little bit harder to see what's happening on the next page and this page at once. So if you're a type of person that's really into design, I would definitely say keep facing pages on and use it to your advantage. Okay. Because basically this is how your portfolio is going to work. It's going to open up first page, you're going to open up to a double page, etc. Okay, so you'll be able to see what the HSC markers are going to see once it's printed. Okay, so yeah, you can add pages through here. Okay, so that's the number 1 thing. Number 2 thing, we're going to look for styling. So we're going to go, let me see. Where would it be? Printing and proofing. No. Okay, let's go to the workspace called Topography. Now, in that workspace, what you're going to notice is paragraph styles. Okay, so open up the panel that says paragraph styles, and what you want to do is create a couple of new styles. So I'm going to create new style, and then I'm going to double click on the new style that I just created, and basically what we can do here is create new font styles. Okay, so like in Word document, when you go and you highlight your text and you click on home, you can go and make it a heading 1 or heading 2 or heading 3, or you can make it strong text, quotation, things like that. Well, in InDesign, you're going to have to create your own styles. Okay, there is no default headings and things like that. You're going to have to create your own. So this style name, I'm just going to go in there. I'm just going to do a quick one. Okay, so I'm just going to call this heading 1, and I'll go down to basic character formats, and I'll just change it so we know that it is different. I'll make it, let's make it a different font type. Let's go with Arial, and I'm going to make it bigger, and I'll also make it slightly bold. and I'll hit OK on that. So now I've got two paragraph styles. One is the basic paragraph, one is for my headings. Okay, and I'm just going to show you to demonstrate it so you can see it actually working. Okay, so I'm going to grab a text box and I'll just go into the first page and I'm just going to draw a text box and I'm going to write something in. Hey, this is some text. And so there's my text box with my text in it. If I click on the heading paragraph style, well, it's probably a bit too big for that. Or maybe it's the font type I chose. Let's double click in there and pick a different. It's probably the type of font we chose. Maybe it's not supported or something. Let's just pick Arial and I'll hit OK. There you go. So there's the normal font type. And my heading 1, there's my heading 1. Obviously, I can style it a lot more. Okay, but for today, we want to get through as many features as we can. I just wanted to show you how to create your styles. Okay, that's how you're going to create your styles. So you can create as many styles as you want. So you could have heading level 2s if you want. You can have italic styles, bold text, things like that. So whatever you want, you can create them and then customize them by double clicking in there and going into all of these options and changing the font type, the size, the color, all of that. Okay, so you can make it look how you want. So I could have a heading level 2 where it's underlined. So if I go here, now I've got 3 styles. I've got a basic paragraph, I've got a heading level 1, I've got a heading level 2 that just puts an underline in it. Maybe I should make that smaller as well. So I'll just click in there and I'll say a little bit smaller. Okay, so I've got 3 heading styles. Okay, so let me just show you how to put the 2 things that you're going to be putting into an InDesign document a lot. One of them is text and one of them are images. Okay, so to bring in text, it's quite easy. Just click on the T tool, just like in Photoshop. Drag yourself a text box and basically just start writing. Once you do that, you can grab your selection tool, you can resize your text box, you can move it wherever you want. Great thing is you can copy and paste it if you want, if you're doing the same thing over and over, which a lot of the times you are going to be doing in research, things like selection and justification. You're going to be, copying and pasting the same text over and over again, so you can do that. Okay, so doing text is quite easy. Images. To bring in an image, it's quite easy as well. You can go File, and then you can go to Place, and I'll just find an image. So here's Cronulla High School logo, and basically, here's 2 ways of placing the image. Okay, if I just click, it puts the full image the exact size that you created the image on. Okay, if I click and drag, I can actually state how big I want the image to be. Okay, and there it is, and then I can drag it. Now here's a little bit of a difference with Photoshop, even Microsoft Word. If I wanted to crop the image or resize it, it all depends on the type of selection I've made. For example, if I go to resize now, I'm actually cropping it. Okay? If I hold down Control, actually I'm using a Mac. On a PC it should be Control. If I hold down Command on the Mac, I can resize. Okay? Other ways of doing that is if I double click on the image, you'll notice that my blue border, so my selection changed. My blue border went to sort of like brownish orange. That has now allowed me to just normally adjust the size of it. Okay. There are a couple of other things you can do, and we're going to get to this when we do master pages, but the cool thing is you can put placeholders. For example, this little rectangle frame tool, I can put placeholders for where images are going to go. Okay, and then whenever I want an image to go in there, I click on the placeholder, I go to File, Place, and the image will go straight in there. Okay. Obviously, if the image is too big, I can resize that image for that particular placeholder. There we go. Okay. But these rectangle frames are going to be really, really cool when we do our master pages, which we'll get to in a second. All right. Let's see. So we've done templates. I've shown you how to insert text, how to insert images, how to crop and resize images. So if you want to crop them, you just drag the edges. If you want to resize, hold down Control, or if you're using it on a Mac, hold down Command. We've looked at workspaces. So this is the workspace on the right side, how to customize that. We looked at styles, paragraph styles, which are really important. Okay, so we've already done that. Next thing, table of contents. How to create a table of contents. So first thing, I'm going to grab a text box and I'm going to create my heading. So what's our first heading, guys? Statement of intent. Very good. Yeah, that's separate. You don't actually want to make that a heading because then that heading will go in your table of contents, right? So yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this and put a couple more headings. Our second heading is what? Very good. Research. Our heading after research. Cool. And I'll do one more just after this, selection and justification. And after that would be, very good. Ideas development or development of ideas, very good. So I've got my 4 headings in there. I'm going to click on each text box, go to paragraph styles, and make sure that it's a heading and not basic text. So make sure it's a heading, not basic text, okay? So they're all headings. I can now go to my top page, and I'm going to go up to layout, and I'm going to go to table of contents. Now, just like paragraph styling, you can also style your table of contents to make it look better. And I'll show you that in a second. First thing, I just want to show you how to create your table of contents. So we're going to go table of contents. And the title, I'm just going to call it what it is, table of contents. That's not that, that's the styling of it. This is where it's asking, right here in the middle. This is where it's asking what styles or headings do you want to put into your table of contents. So I'm going to say I just want heading level 1. So I've just added that. This is the style of your table of contents, which we haven't come to yet. I'll show you how to style your table of contents in a second. So we've stated that we want a title called table of contents. We just want the headings that are styled heading level 1 to be in the table of content. The next thing is it's saying, when do you want the page numbers? Do you want the page numbers to be after your entry or your headings? Do you want it to be before your entry? Or do you want there to be no page numbers in your table of contents, which would be a little bit silly, but I want mine to be after. So it's also asking, do you want there to be a space between the entry and your page number? Do you want there to be a space between your headings and where the page number comes? And I do, and I probably want more than a space. I probably want, well, it's up to you guys what you want, but I kind of like dashes or dots or things like that. It definitely wanted to be indented. I'm just going to go with a dash for now. Let's go with that. And I'll just zoom out. I'm going to hit OK. Once I hit OK, my table of contents is following my mouse. And I can basically just place it. So okay, I can place and drag and let go of that, and there it is. Now, obviously, my table of contents isn't styled. I've set it, the only style I set it to was be like a heading style, and the only formatting I said for the page numbers was to put a dash after the headings and a space and then the page number. I can go back into it. Okay, I can go back into it and actually format that and make sure that, I can make sure that my table of contents has different type of spacing. Maybe I want it to have some indenting, so it should be placed on the right side. That got indented way too much. Let's go back. I'll get rid of all that. Let's just start from the beginning. Let's do right indent. There we go. Cool. So instead of having the dash, I decided to have just right indent, which made my page numbers fly all the way to the right side of my InDesign document. Okay, so there is styling you can do to your table of contents, but I just wanted to show you guys how to actually get your table of contents in there. Okay, and if I basically created another heading, if I went here and created another heading, and let's pretend that this was whatever, just a heading. I'll go back up to the top, update my table of contents, and there we go. A new page just came up. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at the next thing. Styling the table of contents. So to style it, we go to table of contents styles, and it's just like the paragraph styles, but here you're going to click on new, and you're going to go and you're going to customize your own style. So we could call it table, we can call it just custom one or something like that, or whatever you want. And here, this is where you go about and start designing your own table of contents. But again, you can do that on the main page. So when I went create table of contents, I can do all the styling here as well. What you want to do is mix this styling with a paragraph style. So see how it says what type of paragraph style do you want to apply to your font? You might go and actually create a different paragraph style just for your table of contents. So I might go in here, double click in there, and call this table of contents style, and change a few things. Maybe change the font type. So maybe I want my font type in my, maybe I want it to be italic. Maybe I don't want it to be too big. I'll make it 15. Maybe I want there to be a strike through, whatever it may be. Okay, there's heaps and heaps of options here. I'm going to click OK on that, and I'm going to go to my table of contents, and I'm going to go and say that I want to apply my new table of contents style, which I think is that one. Is that the one I just created? Yeah. And I'll create that one there and apply that. And there you go, my new table of contents style, okay? That's just a rough one. Obviously, I want you to create proper paragraph styles, proper table of contents styles. Take your time. When you have time, go in and actually format it to make it look good, okay? Let's go to the next thing. So, styling table of contents, inserting page numbers. All right, page numbers. Pretty simple. What you're going to do with page numbers is you're going to do that on your master page. So we will just come back to that in a second. Let's actually work on a master page, and we'll add the page numbers and all that sort of stuff. So to do master pages, we click on the pages panel, this one here. And on the pages panel, you have all of the pages in your folio. You can skip to a particular page by just clicking on it. So if I wanted to go straight to page 4, I can click on page 4 and it'll go straight to page 4. If I wanted to delete page 4, I can right click on that and just delete it. Okay, if I wanted to duplicate a page, okay, so you can't do these. So this is where I said, so this part where we're styling, that's why I said Word, you're going to get off to a faster start with Word, and InDesign is going to be, well, harder, but really it's just more time consuming setting up your document. But once it's set up, if you wanted to copy a page in Word and replicate it, so you liked what you did with your research, one of your research pages, copy it and paste it, it's a bit of a mission sometimes. But here it's so easy. You can basically just right click and you've got all the options. I can duplicate the page. If I wanted to move a page, for example, a couple of weeks time I come around and I say, look, I like what you said. I like your idea of moving one of your sections to a different, maybe after this particular section, do it. If you were going to do that in Word, it's a bit of a mission. Highlighting all the text and images and making sure they don't move from where you've placed them can be very difficult. In InDesign, it's as easy as dragging and dropping. So if I wanted to move this page at the end of my Word document, I can basically just drag it and drop it. Okay, so that's where I was saying to you guys, if you wanted to do InDesign, it gets very easy at the end. Okay, it's time consuming at the start, but at the end, when you've got a Word document that's 70, 80 pages and you want to move things around, it's as easy as that, just drag and drop. Okay, so that's where things will be a lot easier, and especially when you go to export and print, InDesign is a lot easier, less complications, okay? But the problem is you're not familiar with it. So things like, inserting page numbers or something like that will take a little bit extra time. And you might forget it. You might have to go on Google and just quickly write InDesign how to do this. But, that's how everyone learns all new programs, okay? Yeah. Right next to it. So if I duplicate this one, so let's just see what page this is. This page is the selection justification page. I duplicate it. Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom. Okay. And then I can drag it wherever I want. So if I wanted it side by side. Yeah. So here we go. So master pages, cool. So we go to the pages panel. It's pretty straightforward. Right click to create a new master. So I'm just going to create a couple of master pages. We'll call this one research. Actually, we'll just call it RES for research. Okay. Now, this one here, my master B, I'm going to use that to create my headers and footers. Okay, we started this last lesson, I think, if you guys remember. And basically, major project, and I'll just center that. There we go. And I'll just put my student number on the bottom here as a footer. Yeah.
If you put like a text box in a master, can you edit it?
In the master, yeah.
But not in, like if I were to make a master, I can't just edit that text.
Oh no, if it's a placeholder, yeah. But if it's actual text, so for example here, look, I'll show you, one sec. So I'll put in a page, and then the number's going to go there. So this is my master B, right? I just created this master B. Actually, I should copy these and just do one more here. Okay, so I just created a master B. I'm going to get back onto my main page, and I'm going to make these two pages master B. So I'm just going to apply that master page onto it. Now, okay. Now page numbers was this. So there is a document on Moodle for it, but page numbers is as simple as this. So on your master page, what you would do is just go down, and I've written page, and then I'm going to put the number in, but you don't have to write page. You could just have the number and then style it if you want. But once you have a text box where you want the page number to go, basically you go up top to type, and you go down to insert special characters. And the type of character we are looking for is a marker. And the markers we're putting in is the current page number. So basically that is a code that it's put there. Okay, so I'll do that on this side as well. So basically I'll go up to type, insert special characters. We want a marker current page number. So that's on the master page. So now if I jump out of the master page and go to a page that has master B on it, which is these two pages I've applied it, you'll see that they've got page 2 and page 3 on it. If I go to page 4 and 5, here's page 4 and 5, they don't have anything down there because they are still set to no master at the moment. But if I highlight both of them, right click, and I say I want to apply a master page to them, and I say I want to apply the master page B and hit OK, the headers and footers come on straight away, and also the page numbers are automatically put in there as well.
So you could drag and drop.
Oh, you can? So if I wanted to drag A on, I can just drag it on? Yeah, perfect. Great. Thank you, Zach. So we can also drag, okay, we can also drag and drop master pages onto each other. The benefits of InDesign is this, okay? So let's pretend that this is your research section. Now, most of your research section is going to look the same. You're going to have pictures and text, right? And in your research, you got screenshots, you got title, URL, date, date accessed, date created, and then your evaluation. It's always the same, right? So what you could do is create a master page like I have here. I've created a master page, and you can design all the placeholders for it. So for example, create a text box where your heading will go, and then create a text box where the URL will go. Date accessed is the next one. Date access, date created. And then obviously your evaluation would be a lot bigger. So we'll create an evaluation like this possibly. So I've just created my text placeholders. I can create a picture placeholder as well using the rectangular frame tool. And I can place where I hope my text would go, right there. So now that I've got all this here, I can copy all of that. And see, this is something you can't do in Word, or it's a lot more difficult in Word. And then I can actually go and place another one there. And then I can place another one here. Obviously, if you're going to format it, you would format it how you want and make it look good and all that stuff. But let's say that that's how we want our research page to look. So once you have your master page for research looking exactly how you want it to look, you can go to your normal pages, and I'll just add a couple more pages. Let's pretend this is our research section. I'm going to highlight all my research section, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to apply a master page to it. The master page I'm applying is the research master that I just created, and hit OK. And then on all of those pages automatically are the research template that I had set up. Now, the important part is this part. So normally a master page, once it's set up, you can't actually edit it. Now, Ethan, thank you for figuring that out. If you highlight the pages here, you can right-click it and then override all master page items. So if you click on that, you should now be able to go and edit all of those pages. Okay, so the great thing about using master pages is not only to get your headers and footers in, but also to save time when you're doing research. If you need to add another research page, look how easy it is. So I can click add another research page. My master page called research is already on it. Boom, all my headings, all the URLs are added. If I wanted to create another one, in there automatically. If I wanted to create another page, but I didn't want it to be a research page, I just right click and apply a different master page to it. Let's go back to page master B, and there we go, back to our normal page. Problem that might arise is keeping your master pages consistent with what needs to be on every single page. Okay, so you can't apply multiple masters onto a page. So for example, my headers and footers would need to be on every single master. Okay, unless you're using a master, like a blank master for doing a title page or something like that. Okay, so my research page, I forgot to put the headers and footers in it. So I would need to go and copy my headers and footers, and I'll just highlight them all, copy that. Oh, forgot this page. So copy that, go into my research master, and just paste them in. And then they would show up in my other pages. Okay, so master pages are crucial. I would suggest creating at least, half a dozen. I think you'll get close to at least half a dozen eventually, and it will save you time. It will save you a lot of time, especially when you're up to 60, 70 pages, and then you need to put in research for something. You can quickly just skip to page, 40, and then add an extra page and apply the research template or the master page you've set up, and all the data's in there. You're ready to go. Okay. All right. Thanks for that. Other things that you can do. One of the other things that you can do is linking Photoshop images. So if you had a title, and you wanted to bring in Photoshop, what you can do is use this. So we can go new, and then we can click on A4 as a preset. We can design something. So we can basically, I'll just do a quick design. What I'm going to do is go File, Save. I'm going to keep it as a Photoshop file, and I'm just going to call this my cover page template. So we'll keep it as a Photoshop file. We'll bring it into InDesign, File, Place, and just place that in. So I can click and drag it in, and it should match the page perfectly. And there it is. Now, the beauty of this, and it might look like it's low quality, but that's just so you can do things in InDesign quickly. If you wanted to see it, how it's going to look high quality, you can click on it and go to Object, and you can go to Display Performance and say High Quality Display, and that'll make it look better. Okay, once that object is in there, you can actually open it back up and I can edit it. So if I change the colors, for example, and then save the Photoshop file, when I get back into InDesign, this icon will appear telling me that there's been a change in the Photoshop file, and if I double click on it, it will update the picture straight away. We're left for is exporting. So guys, if you are doing InDesign, please have a look at this. I do not want, when you guys have to do your weekly uploads, I do not want you guys to upload an InDesign document. You have to give me PDF documents, please. Very, very important. I don't want to have to open up your InDesign documents and have to export for you. Okay, so if you are doing your document in InDesign right now, you need to...
So you want us to export it?
Yes, so export as a PDF. Okay, that's what you want. That's the default. Don't choose any of the others. Adobe PDF print is what you want. And basically give your document a name. It's my major project. And hit save on that. You get all these options which at the moment are irrelevant. Okay, so don't worry about all these options for now. When you go to export your project for the final time, these options are going to be very, very crucial in what you select. Things like not optimizing it or compressing it is going to be something that we go in and fine tune, because you're going to be printing your portfolio. You want it to be completely uncompressed and full quality. Okay. While you're submitting it for online Moodle marking and feedback, just use the default and hit export. And basically what you'll get is an exported PDF document. Okay, simple like that. Okay? But when you do export it for the final time, you will need to go in there and make sure that your export is uncompressed and not for viewing on a computer. So you'll have to untick some of these things, like optimize for fast web view and things like that. So we want those things off. Okay, and compression, we'll want it to be not compressed. So make sure all those things aren't done. Yeah. By the way, the documents, if you want to look at documents, it's quite easy. If you just type in InDesign how to insert page numbers, okay, the first link will always be Adobe. It's fantastic. Now some of these URLs I've put into Year 12 Moodle. If you scroll all the way down past the portfolio links, you'll see portfolio help. And we've got a couple of things here, how to insert page numbers and links like that.